Hey, what is going on, guys? This is your boy Andrew Legend here today with a brand new video on Wizard101. Today I'm going to give you a tutorial of 1v1 Balance Exalted PvP deck setup. I know I said it many times, but I think I said it way too many, who knows. So this is going to be the second one. I did another strategy. I put a lot of work into this one, and I hope you guys really like this one. So I like to say I crafted. It's the same thing as my other deck, the time fighting deck that I showed you in my last video. This one's a little bit different. It's kind of like time fighting, but this is more of a Sentinel wise. Sentinel is like defense and like provoking your opponent and stuff like that. We're gonna show you the deck. Okay, so notice I have cloaks. I have 3 cloaks. I call them default cloaks, just because I don't have that many cards to cloak. But I don't cloak in my side deck because you have to strive and strive and strive to look for it. So I'm not gonna be able to, I'm not gonna keep. I don't want to overdraw. Is what I'm saying. So I put those in. I put those 3 in. Just people. So like, what is this on me? Like, what is this? What is this? And like people can say like what is this? I'm gonna wand it off, like something like that. And maybe they missed a turn, or they were thinking of, like, since I messed up that person's play, they were gonna lore master, but they thought it was a dispel or something. Like I can predict that that's gonna be an imbalance or a weakness or something like that. So I call these default cloaks. So you can you can spam it as long as you want. Yeah. So I put this many colossals in just because I don't have that many attack cards, which you already realized, and obviously I don't use Lore Master that much. I'm more into Gaze. I use Gaze at the right time. The reason why I don't put that many Gaze in, because sometimes your Shadow Pips cannot. Well, sometimes it don't. Well, you can't really depend on your Shadow Pips, because sometimes it comes at a weird time, or it just automatically pops up like that. And the reason why I actually have 4 in is because that I like to use it on the right time with my opponent is almost to the floor, and then he won't expect me to do it. Like if he thinks I'm gonna like lore master, or he's gonna think I'm gonna do something weird, like what is he gonna do? He might gaze, he might lore master, he might do something to take the shield off, something, blah blah blah. Maybe he doesn't have it. So like that's all about prediction skills in the game, as far as if your first turn or second turn, because this is almost like this spell. Well, this deck is made for first turn, so please be lucky, and I'm not responsible for any of you saying like I'm trash at this or something like that, blah blah blah. Whatever you want to say to me, I don't care. I try to do other strategies for other people to do PvP and stuff like that. So my last video of I guess the two other videos, let's say 2 videos later, that I had 1 counter force in. I have 3 now, because I like to play Bubble War. I play Bubble War because if I'm first turn, I can use it, and then I can just use cards, get their health low and stuff like that, and then I can follow up with a lore gaze or something, or a gaze of the lore or something, or whatever you want to say, your combo or something like that, like a lore paw or something. And statistically saying, like, if since I have since I have like 17 block added to that many, which is 37, I get more, and then it'll do 37 pierce, and then plus 15 more critical, that I usually critical on a daily basis on on other people, like, you know, like Storm, Ice, Fire, Myth, anything like that. Myth is a really a rare school to fight, so yeah, so that's why I use Counterforce. I don't use Lore Master way too much. I use it for like well, if I have to spam it, it'll be like it'll have to be like it's like a shield breaker, or to get your health low at a certain point that I want that person to get their health low, and then I can just counter it with a Gaze of Fate or something. So they might think I'm, you know, like about to do that or something like that. So I use 4 mana burn. I don't put a whole bunch of mana burn in because a lot of people predicting on me using mana burn, because people actually, a lot of people know how balance fight, because we like to use fucking Lore Master, Gaze of Fate, mana burn, you know, all that stuff we like to use, you know. So I only put 4 in, and my prediction skills they're okay. I actually try. You know, like I put them on like so. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I use that at a certain time when they think I'm not gonna use mana burn, but I'll just use it just because. So yeah, that's why I use mana burn. Okay, so this is when the fun comes in. This is what awakens your spell deck of Sentinel Strategy. This right here, I have mostly nearly half of Manders in. I have a slice of the side deck of Mander minions. I spam these so that I can put, you know, like they can put not traps, they can put like shields, they can put like you know, blades for you or something like that. And then this is where it comes to play. If people, like your opponents, like to, you know, if they like hitting you with stuff, like, you know, if they're hitting you because you're wasting pips or something, use this right here. This is why I use this. This is what comes into play. Your Availing Hands and then your minions. So you just keep healing, and then you use your Availing Hands just in case if they won't try to hit you because you're wasting pips, or they just giving up on your minions, still heal. So you can annoy your target and make them lose faith. And don't hesitate using Mander. Use it as much as possible. You have to use it in order this strategy to work. So, as always, can't forget reshuffle. You can put as many reshuffles you want. I put 2 in, just because it usually pops up, and I can't get that many cards because it usually doesn't pop up as it normally should. So that's why I put it in there. Excuse me. I put scarabs in. I use these to break shields and stuff like that. So basically, majority of these right here, these are for breaking shields and stuff like that, and just to get your health low and stuff like that. And then if I'm setting for, well, this is obviously an imbalance here. This is what I use. Since people don't like reshuffle or something like that, that's why this is called Sentinel Strategy. So you can wait till your opponent like reshuffle or something, then you can go for the kill or something. If your opponent is running out of cards or something, you can just use that, and then you can just go in for the kill, like Gaze of Fate, Lore Master, anything you want to use to make your opponent weak and low or something like that in the PvP. And as far as this, like I said, from up here, these are defaults. This is what I use for this, if it pops up or something like that. I use this for debuffs and follow it up with Lore Master for more debuffs. And that's when this comes in right here. I use 3 Shadow Strikes because I want to get it at the right time, so I won't be able to, you know, like, so I can get all my other cards to to be used on, excuse me, to be used on like cards like this, and you know, like Gaze of Fate, Lore Master, like that. If I really needed to use it, like if I really needed to use it, like if their health is like at 3k, I'll use it, and then I'll just keep spamming, and then that's how you actually get them. But remember, this only works at first turn. First turn. Okay, so now, since I have this many cards in, like I don't have that many like attacks in, like they're all over the place. So this is when my side deck comes along. So you notice I have more Lore Masters, I have more Gaze of Fate. So usually I work with my backup cards, my backup cards. This is what I call my backup cards. Not yesterday. I'm sorry, guys. The last two episodes of this right here, Melt, Dispel. Well, usually, remember I told you I didn't like tower shields, so now I'll just use those just because of towers and you know, like stuff like that. And then if I'm second turn, I can use Steel Wire. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. I can use Steel Wire if I can, you know, like use my good prediction skills, which is like statistically speaking, it's like at least 70%, so that's pretty good. So like if they tower shield from first turn, they think you're gonna like War Master or something, you can just do that. Usually a lot of people will just tower shield from first turn so they won't be hit by the first hit or something like that because they're afraid they can't take a punch. I put this many tower shields in, and notice I don't have that many tower shields in here because the minion will do all the shielding. And I put 3 set shields in just because, once again, in my old setup video, I've been facing a lot of elemental wizards, elemental opponents that I've been facing in the past in my PvP days. I put one Shatter in just because maybe the opponent thinks I'm like wasting time, so he's like putting all his shields up, stacking up. He thinks I'm gonna set up for a big hit, so maybe he thinks I am setting up for a big hit, so I can just shatter him and he thinks I'm setting up for him or something like that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I put 2 convictions in because I don't really get stunned too much. Well, a lot of people say I learned from Dakota Earthhorn that you should always put your stuns in. Yes, that's true. But in this one, I use conviction. I don't use stun block. I use stun block because I normally don't get crit on, like a 40% chance I can get crit on, but I don't really get crit on. I just use this so, you know, like a lot of people don't stun me in the past of PvP in my experience. And once again, infallible, this is when you change to aggression. This is when this comes along right here. These cards here. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I'm so tired. This is what I use. I use this infallible, and then this is when these cards come in. This is what I use for these cards, so I can just spam, get their health low, and then I can get into strike and start pounding my opponent. Empower. I use empower so I can use. I can spam minions. I can use that to like if I'm desperate for a hit, I can use that, and I can follow up with a hit if I use it, and it's very helpful to get 3 pips. And now I use 2 feints because if I strike, I can use the feint, and then the opponent can predict that I'm gonna hit, and then he'll miss a turn of hitting me, so it won't damage me, and it can ruin his turn because he shielded and I'm already in strike. So, oops, I put one out. I'm sorry. So I put one out. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look for it. Okay, here it is. Okay, so I put this in just because. I put 2 of these in because just in case if they don't have that many, you know, like shields or something like that, and when Shrike comes up. So guys, remember, I'm not responsible if this doesn't work for you. So this is just a new strategy that I've been working on. So yeah. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share it to your friends if you haven't already. And peace out. Please share the video. And also down in the description below, support my favorite YouTubers, my the stream. Well, not the stream, like, you know, the fam, if you want to call it, or something like that. You know, like, give them a shout out or something. You know, like, subscribe to them. I know you know them. Just, you know, hit them up. You know. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool to look at. They cheer you up, all that good stuff. So yeah, guys. Once again, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share it to your friends if you haven't already. Peace out.